Yo, what is up guys? Del Boy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are well. So, Saul Canelo Alvarez vacates his WBO light heavyweight title just 6 weeks after winning it against Sergey Kovalev on the 2nd of November. The belt now obviously goes vacant and it will be contested by the highest rated contenders. Now, if you look in the WBO rankings, the number one contender, of course, is Gilberto Ramirez, the former WBO super middleweight champion. He is 40-0 right now. And the number two contender is Russian light heavyweight Umar Salamov. So you would imagine the WBO will make that fight or order it, and those two guys will fight for the vacant title. If that does actually happen, I don't actually mind that fight. I think it's quite a good fight. I've always actually rated Gilberto Ramirez more than most. I know he's not proven that much yet, but I believe he's a good fighter. He has good solid fundamentals out of that southpaw stance. He's tall and long, he does the basics well, and he's solid fundamentally. When Ramirez moved up to light heavyweight, a lot of people were doubting him and still are. I think Ramirez will have some success at 175. Not saying he beats everybody, because I don't believe that's the case, but he's not going to be a pushover. He's going to be a viable contender at light heavyweight, and he could pick up some good wins. So watch out for him. And obviously, the number two ranked guy, Umar Salamov, he has a record of 25-1. He's Russian, he's a good fighter in his own right. He's a guy who I've been keeping an eye on for quite some time. He's improved a bit, he's quite decent, he carries okay power. Again, does all of the basics well, so that could be a good fight between Ramirez and Salamov. I would make Ramirez a favourite, but it's a good fight nonetheless. As for Canelo vacating the title, I've got to say I'm not that surprised. I really didn't expect him to fight the likes of Beterbiev and people like that. I felt this would be a one and done type thing. A lot of people were speculating that Canelo would stay at light heavyweight to fight these other guys, but I never really expected that. Without Canelo really, trying to play the advantage on the scales, I never really saw him fighting the likes of Beterbiev, so I'm not surprised that he's vacated the WBO title, and quite frankly, for the light heavyweight division, I think it's a good thing, because you don't really want to see Canelo abusing his A-side powers, draining people to come down to a certain weight. I'd rather see these guys fight each other at their healthy weights, because there's too many good fights to miss out on. You've got the likes of Beterbiev, Bivol, Ramirez, Anthony Yarde, Elidia Alvarez, Badu Jack. Maybe Sergey Kovalev will actually throw his hat into the ring as well. So there's good fights to be made at light heavyweight, and I think Canelo staying at that weight class would hold things up. Like I said, number one, because if he fights one of these guys, it's not going to be an even fight in regards to weight and whatnot. And also, a guy like Canelo sticking around at light heavyweight, it could actually cause the other guys to not fight each other and hold out for a Canelo fight. So it could just hold up the division, and I'm glad he's gone back down and vacated this belt. Now, I'm assuming Canelo will go down to 168. That's what I'm assuming. He's got some options at 168. There are a couple of big fights there. He could obviously fight the two UK-based super middleweights, Billy Joe Saunders or Callum Smith. Both of those guys didn't really look too hot in their last fights, and obviously both guys are with DAZN. So from Canelo's perspective, those fights are attractive and very makeable. In fact, Canelo has actually said, whether you believe him or not, he would like to fight in the UK. Maybe he could fight Billy Joe or Callum Smith in the UK. Who knows? They would certainly do well in the UK in terms of, box office. The boxing audience obviously knows who Canelo is in the UK, and if Canelo fought one of those guys over here, I'm sure they'd do good business. So maybe that could happen. But yeah, Canelo, he's got some options at 168. I think that's the weight class he'll campaign at. I really don't expect him to go back down to 160. I really believe that would be a struggle to make now, to be honest. I mean, Canelo has put on a lot of muscle mass in recent years, obviously going up in weight, and going back down could be a challenge, put it that way. Could he really make 160 fairly? I mean, I don't want to cast aspersions, but I think it's very unlikely. So I expect Canelo to meet in the middle, go down to 168, and I believe he will try and fight either Callum Smith or Billy Joe Saunders. I think they are the likely fights for Canelo at 168, and obviously down the line, Golovkin could always move up to 168 to fight Canelo a third time if Canelo wants it. So Canelo certainly has options at 168, even if that means middleweights moving up to fight him. But there we go, Canelo vacates his WBO light heavyweight title. I'm actually quite pleased by this news, like I've said earlier. Share your thoughts below. What do you think of this story? Peace.